Please have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Hello. My name is Dr. Arona. So, what brings you here today?
Thank you for seeing me on such short notice. I'm not much up for shrinks and head doctors. I mean, even when I got back from the war and they debriefed us through the offices of the OSS, I was just grateful to come home to my family and back to my life. So I just manned up and I didn't put much faith in psychotherapy. I don't want you to be offended by that, but man has a job to do, and a man does it, and he moves on, and you don't dwell on it. But recently, something happened, and it was hard for all of us to deal with, and they thought if we came and talked to you, doctor, that maybe you could help us shed some light on what happened, what really happened with events.
I understand that there was an incident the other day at the airport that you experienced. Now, in order for me to assess your state, how you're doing, and kind of, well, not judge, but examine kind of what happened to you, I'm going to need you to explain what happened in as much detail as you can give me. And I will be jotting down a few notes here. I hope that's okay. But this, again, will just help me to better assess you and your state. So, please just relax and share with me what happened the other day.
Well, it's not easy to describe these things, but I'll try. I've seen a lot of paranormal and supernatural things in my life. This was different. Do you remember Steve Rogers? How they turned him into the super soldier, and then he went off to fight in Europe. And everybody was calling him a mystery man from the comic books, like a real life mystery man. You remember the pulps like Doc Savage and Lamont Cranston, The Shadow, things like that. Well, this was like that. I'm sitting on the tarmac. We just got back from our mission in the United Kingdom. We're pursuing a man called the Faith Healer, and he's a cultist. And I get word that something's not right back home. Please come back to the Department of Navy in Washington, D.C. ASAP. So we get on the first flight, we get on the tarmac, and we're greeted by an agent. He comes up to me, draws his service revolver, places it directly to my temple, And that's when it happened.
That's very interesting. Just, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna jot down a few notes on what you said. Now, please, what happened next?
It was like time was frozen. And when I mean frozen, I've been in some strange situations with time travel and time dilation. But like I said before, this is something totally different. It was like the whole world froze around me. And nobody was moving. I could still move. I stepped away from the line of the gunfire and realized that the agent was still squeezing the trigger, and his sidearm went off. A slow motion flash. And the bullet started to come out of the barrel. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and it was right here in front of my eyes. And that's when I saw her. That's when I saw her walking across the landing zone. She was almost all in purple. A diminutive, maybe 5'4", young girl, purple from head to toe with a flowing mystery man cape and a purple domino mask. She looked like a trick-or-treater, but from my experience with the pulp magazines, as I mentioned before, I realized there was something going on here. This wasn't a child in the wrong place at the wrong time. This was an adult, and she was making her way towards me. Her hands would flash across, not like pixie dust, but some ethereal ectoplasm, some kind of ghostly fog would emit from her hands, and everything slowed down. But in a distance I could see that we were still in reality. I could see the sun and I could see the clouds. But I felt like I was in a lucid, awakening dream. And the bullet at this time, from these observations, was this far from the end of the gun barrel. That's where my head would have been if it wasn't for this young lady and her actions. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now.
Time was frozen, and this was because of the abilities of this mystery girl. What about the people around you? Could they not tell what was going on? Could they not see that time was frozen, as you just explained? What actually was going on? What happened next?
The other men seemed to be completely immobile. I was able to move about freely. I even shoved the sidearm down to the ground. His arm moved. The bullet kept traveling. I disarmed the agent, secured his service revolver. As I was tucking it away, the mystery girl, well, I'm 6'3". I'm not a little guy. She came up to me. She was like a pixie, but she had an aura of strength and maturity that, well, let me just tell you what, she was in charge. She instructed me to come forward. And with one finger, she like dotted my forehead. And the next thing I know, I wasn't here anymore. Where am I? What have you done with my men? Are my men safe?
Shh. It's okay. You're safe. Everything is just fine. Your men are safe. And you are safe here. There's nothing to worry about. I promise you. It's okay. You're safe.
I believe you because you saved my life back there in that airport. Why did you do that, and how did you know? That agent was a good man. Who programmed him to assassinate me? What's going on here? You must know, or you wouldn't have saved me. That much I do know.
I had to save you. You were in grave danger, I'm afraid. There's an evil man who goes by the faith healer. A wicked, wicked soul. He was or is trying to impersonate you. Use your identity for his evil plans. He was involved in Project Chatter, brainwashing even the kindest of men, people who would do no harm, and brainwashing them to kill and hurt others. Despicable. But I had to save you because back there in the airport, he had plans to have you assassinated. Assassinated so he could carry on and do his evil deeds. Well, my friend, I was not going to let that happen. I was not going to let you get hurt. No. so I had to save you. And I'm sorry that you're in this situation. But, like I said, you are safe here. I promise.
I've got to get back. You've got to take me back. I can't stay here. I have to go help. I can't let him do this to people. Project Chatter was never supposed to happen. I was supposed to stop Project Chatter at the Department of Navy. You've got to take me back right now. I don't understand. What kind of powers do you have, and where did you come from? Where did you gain these powers? If you brought me here, you can take me back, right? I'm not dead, am I? This doesn't feel like any reality I've ever been in, and I've even traveled across the far reaches of space. Please, explain this to me. Please.
Do not worry about where you are. You are safe, and you are not dead. Far from it, I might add. But you're fine. Now, regarding how I became who I am today. Well, I am, to put it in terms that you'd best understand, I think, I am a superhero. But these powers, I was not born with them. A long time ago, I was like you, quite normal, and I was weak, and didn't know my purpose in the world. But then, all of that changed. I was walking in the woods, and I came across a box that contained some kind of formula. Well, I was intrigued by the substance, and I drank some of it. And the next morning when I woke, I was like this, with all the powers that I have. And I finally figured out my purpose in life. But I was able to save you back there because I have the power to stop time, among other things, but that's what I did. I was able to slow everything down and take you away from there. And that, my friend, is why you and I are perfectly fine here where I brought you. But don't worry about exactly where that is. You're safe.
That is so fantastic. That's a fantastical story. I'm completely blown away and thunderstruck and galvanized that not only do we have Steve Rogers out there fighting for America, but now a new mystery person, a mystery girl. Thank goodness you're on our side. You could literally walk into any bank vault any government agency and steal any object you want. Thank you for using your powers for good and for this country. Let me offer you something that I have offered some of the strangest characters in the history of the human race. From Prometheus to aliens from another world to the Invisible Woman. I can offer you a job with the OSS. You can come and join us. We'll help you. You'll earn a paycheck and a pension, health care, and great dental. I can help you if you allow me to bring you back with me to the Department of Navy.
It's a very generous offer, and I wish I could accept, but I already have my own enemies who I need to stop. I already have my duties to save anyone in need, and I feel that on my own I can accomplish so much more, and on my own I can stay hidden better. Like I said, I already have my own enemies, and many of which are doing everything in their power to come looking for me. So I need to work for myself. It is lonely, but it's the only way. So, unfortunately, I do have to decline your very generous offer. I'm sorry.
I understand your feelings. Maybe you can do more good without the possibility of anybody knowing who you are or how to control you. Maybe being a mystery woman, a superhero in disguise with an alter ego. Yes, maybe you could do more good. Maybe it's better that we don't know who you are. But promise me, if I ever need your services, is there, or anything ever happens to you diabolically, is there any way I can reach you so I would know to come and help you? Or in return, you could rescue me again. I feel silly saying that. I'd be dead right now if it wasn't for you.
It's very simple. If you need to reach me again, if you need me for anything, all you have to do is think about me, and I will feel that in my heart, and I'll be able to find you anywhere. It really is that simple. So if you do need me, I'll always come. Just think about me and I'll be there. I promise.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll remember that. Now, please, please take me back. I have to rescue my men. I've lost so many. I don't want to lose any more. Please, please take me back. Thank you. I've been a lot of places through time dilation, through time travel. I've been across the galaxy. But when she did that with her finger, I'm telling you, I don't know how I knew. But I'm telling you right now, I wasn't here anymore.
I see. And where did you go then? Where did she take you? I'm very curious.
That's the part I can't explain. I wasn't here anymore.
Again, this is quite a story. It's very fascinating. If you don't mind, I'd just like to jot down a few more notes. Now, please, what happened next?
I can't explain it. I can't put into terms what happened. I'm just telling you, she not only saved my life, it's very likely that she saved this whole country. Because without her warning me about Project Chatter and the infiltration by the faith healer, if I hadn't arrived in time, there wouldn't be any United States to come back to. I couldn't sleep for days. The men that were with me had trouble sleeping. It was like we were in some kind of super well-rested state. I wasn't tired. I could just keep going for hours at working, and she did something. She touched something in my mind, and I haven't felt normal since. I don't know who she is, and I don't know what she is. But she was like an angel full of life. I've never felt so at peace as I did when I was with her. And that's the only way I can describe it.
She really seemed to have quite the effect on you. Well, this has been very, very intriguing. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to see you again very soon to go into even more detail on this. You can set up an appointment with my assistant on your way out. But I have to say, in all my 30 years of working in my field, I've never heard such a story. Truly fascinating. But that is why I'd like to see you again, to sort of be able to dig deeper and assess it further.
Well, I know it's hard for me to believe too, but I do appreciate you meeting with me today, and it was good to meet you. And, 30 years of practice, you don't look like a day over 21. But I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.
If he only